Now, welcome to another edition of News from Naboo with Thor's Lightning Takes. And let's get right to the news.
First up, Diego Luna went on Good Morning America yesterday and kind of talked about Andor. The actor is seemingly over the moon about the story they're telling in the show, and also being back in the Star Wars galaxy. He, of course, went on the show to promote the new trailer that went out. He actually announced and revealed it, as well as the new date and new poster. But he also shared a story about how his kids have changed their tune about how they're being in Star Wars from filming Rogue One to now. They still love the idea that I'm part of this universe. They were young then, so I was worried about them delivering information that was sensitive, but now it's the other way around. They're so bossy. It feels like they work for Disney. They go, wake up, go to work, do it right.
His kid's got the right attitude. Don't
do.
screw up
They
Star
do.
Wars, Dad.
Do it right, Dad.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. I think it's hilarious because I
cute.
would expect no less from anybody's kids who are in Star Wars. Get their parents out there. Make sure they don't screw up this franchise. Please.
Do it right.
Do your duty, children.
Right. About being part of Star Wars universe, Luna said, "It's so unique. It's like nothing else. I've been all my life trying to get people's attention to watch the stories we want to tell. Making noise so people would be like, who's that guy? But here's the opposite. The expectation is there. I was at Star Wars Celebration, and you can tell the audience there's so much love for this. They want to see it, but they want to love it. And that energy is so special. It's like nothing else."
Yeah, absolutely.
I love it, yeah.
Star Wars fans always want to love it. I mean, the reason why people that get so passionate when it's not good is because they want to love it, because it means so much to them, right?
Right, that's important. I want to love it too.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to this optimistically with hope every single time they announce a new project. I'm like, yes, this is it. I'm going to love this. It's going to be great.
I know.
Is it my fault for having high expectations that I want to enjoy it?
But shouldn't we have Star Wars? Shouldn't Star Wars have high expectations? Isn't this the premier? I mean, isn't this the premier franchise? Or I mean, it once was. I don't think it is so much anymore. You got others out there, but I mean. That's used to be what Star Wars did. It pushed the boundaries. It tried to be, every single time new Star Wars came out, it was supposed to be, special and unique. And Lucas was always, even with the Clone Wars, always trying to do more and push the boundaries. So when it kind of falls short, yeah, you're gonna be disappointed because you come to expect big things out of Star Wars. I don't think that's, fan expectations are too high. No, they should be high. These are some of the best actors and directors and producers in the world, right?
They're high because they made us love the franchise.
Yeah, exactly. Like, we love the franchise. We do expect big things out of it, and the people making it should expect even bigger things out of themselves.
Like,
right?
I'm super hyped for Andor.
I am too.
I think it looks fantastic. I think it's, from the briefness of what I know of the story, it sounds like it's going to be really cool. But let's...
No, but before moving on, I just want to say, I think fans should, of course, have high expectations. You don't ever do anything in life, just wanting mediocre. Like, you don't go to the new restaurant or a restaurant you've been to for years and say, well, I hope we get average service this time. No, you always want, you know what I mean? And as someone who's worked at, restaurants a good chunk of their life, like, you want to provide a good experience every time. You want to be proud of the product you put out there. Like, when I cooked, like, I don't want to put crap on a plate and expect someone to like it because the name of the restaurant, right?
Like
that's me.
Your family to a restaurant that you absolutely love and that you've always had great service at and you love it and adore it. You take your family or your girlfriend to there and they're like, why do you even like this?
Yeah,
this is horrible.
Yeah, the food's terrible. The service
sucks.
sucks.
No, it was just this one time.
No,
I swear. It's usually really great. And you're like,
Yeah, but I mean, when I cooked, that's as weird as it sounds. Like, that's me on a plate. That's me trying to provide some enjoyment to somebody, a satisfying meal. And so I don't, maybe it's just my perspective as someone who's worked in that industry and likes to, actually likes the industry. It's as hectic as it can be and crazy as it can be sometimes. Like, I like to try to entertain and, provide enjoyment to people like that. So to me, yeah, you, as a customer, you should expect the person creating something to give it their all. And Star Wars is, or was, the premier franchise. So let's not pretend that we shouldn't expect big things from it.
Right, so then Diego went on to explain why this particular story is so special to him. It's quite unique because we know what Cassian is capable of. We're going to meet him when he doesn't know that he's capable of that. We're going to meet him when his life is tough and it's sometimes a dark and interesting life. because he's just a regular guy that suddenly has to become part of something bigger. He has to become part of a community that rises, you know? It's the beginning. It's the origins of a revolution, and it's a beautiful story because it reminds us of what we're capable of. There's no Jedi around. It's people having to take control.
Yeah, that sounds great. That's what Star Wars is, like people having to rise above themselves, whether they be Jedi or the average, smuggler in a cantina somewhere, right? Mm-hmm. Being better than you were before. That should be something we all strive to do. We should always strive to try to make the right choices and to be good people and to make, positive impacts. In Star Wars, it just so happens that the choices they make sometimes affect the entire galaxy, right?
Right.
So no, I love what he's saying here. Absolutely.
Then he went on to talk about doing his own stunts, because he did do his own stunts in Rogue One. So they asked him, is he going to be continuing to do his own stunts? He says, yeah, but I'm a little older now. I needed some help sometimes. But yes, I love that. I love the whole world. Suddenly I'm a kid there on set, because everything is there, everything is real. We don't work with green screens. The stuff is built, the props work, they make noises.
Well, it's always great when you hear the actor who wants to do his own. I mean, I understand sometimes they're asked to do things that perhaps they shouldn't do because they'll hurt themselves.
Professional stunt people have trained for.
Exactly. So, but you always like the ambition, the desire and the want to be able to do as much as you can for the character.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, let's segue into the next section here. Andor is the first Star Wars series to not use the volume, the LED stage. All the sets are practical. So far, every Star Wars series on Disney Plus has used the volume, that state-of-the-art HD video wall that allows filmmakers to project these high-quality backgrounds on the sets that look hyper-realistic and cut down on production time and, of course, cost.
Cost is probably the main reason this,
Surprisingly, Andor is the first Star Wars series to not use the volume, opting for practical on-set locations. The new feature with Empire, I think it comes out actually tomorrow, the actual issues, Tony Gilroy speaks about how the series opted away from the volume in favor of practical sets. He says, yep, we're old school. We didn't use stagecraft at all. This is a notable change, as Gilroy is the first showrunner to resist the temptation of the volume. It's a choice that looks, at least from what we've seen of the show, it looks to add even more grit and earthiness to a series all about capturing the texture, set at a time when the Star Wars galaxy is a particularly dark and dangerous place to be.
Yeah, it absolutely showed in the trailer. The trailer looked more like Star Wars than anything else we've seen before.
It just looked bigger. Everything looked bigger.
That's the best way to put it. Everything looks bigger. It looks like you're actually on a planet. Like, there were times, and I know, let's not just keep criticizing Kenobi. I know people get tired of it, but there were times in Kenobi where you felt like you were in this little cramped soundstage. You really did get that feeling. It felt
really small
very small at times. And The Mandalorian, I think, avoided that a little bit better. I don't know why Kenobi, again, I don't want to just sit here and rail on Kenobi, but I don't know why Kenobi seemed to be the cheapest of the shows. Maybe because they figured that's just the one everybody's going to watch anyway. I don't know. But it just felt like the cheapest and the smallest of the shows. And I don't mean small in terms of like scale. I was okay with a small scale Kenobi if they would have, but just the feel of the show felt very small. Like, we have a tiny budget and let's get this done for as cheap as we can. That's how I felt about Kenobi. I don't know. Whereas watching just the trailer of Andor, I'm like, wow, this feels like worthy of the name Star Wars because of the scope and scale it just has.
Right. Well, Diego Luna particularly appreciated being able to shoot on practical sets, though he mentions the only downside was the effort involved to reaching the locations in the first place. As an actor, it's beautiful. Everything is mechanical, you're interacting with real stuff. In Scotland, we had to walk for hours up a mountain to set up one to set up one shot. Huge effort, really dangerous to get there. All you can see around you is sky, trees, rivers, lakes. Amazing, like being on another planet, which is what you want people to believe. So if you believe it as an actor because you're there and you see it, then I think we can believe it too.
Isn't it strange how, like, quote unquote exotic locations here on Earth sometimes feel more like alien planets than the best CGI can pull off?
It's really, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Not that they don't look alien planets, but you can just tell it's a CGI created alien planet versus something that actually tangibly exists, in reality. Mm-hmm. And that's the big difference between digital and practical. You can just see it. I don't know how to explain it. I don't know how to articulate it, but you just see it and you feel the difference between something that is physically there and something that is digitally there.
Fiona Shaw, who plays Marva, in the series echoed Luna's view on interacting with the real sets while revealing a little bit more about her character. My character's house is built from parts of an old spaceship. I used to go out and just stare at it. Breathtaking. I mean, it's cool to be able to physically go out there and like touch it and go, this is real.
I think that helps actors tremendously, doesn't it? Like,
I think so. When they're not like just pointing off and going at the green screen, going, yes, it's that building there. You're like, no, seriously, I can see the building.
Yeah,
it's
no,
right
this
there.
building, the one I'm touching and sitting in right now, not the screens around me.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think that's, granted, I'm no actor, never will be, but I have to imagine that's just worlds of difference to have something there, to be somewhere, than to just have somebody, okay, this is what you're seeing, and we're going to put a tennis ball up here to represent it. Like,
well, that's why The Mandalorian did well. They built Grogu as a puppet. He wasn't like a CGI thing that he was pretending to interact with. He was literally interacting with a puppet.
Yeah, could you imagine if Grogu was all CGI? It wouldn't feel the same. No.
Right. All of that news comes on the back of Andor getting the new trailer, the new poster, the release date. I mean, I really like that we're getting the first 3 episodes all at once. I mean,
I don't like the delay, though.
The show is supposed to be told in 3-episode arcs, so getting that first arc all at once is great. It's getting a full little complete story, we think.
Yeah, like a full movie almost,
yeah.
You could say.
I am sad that we have to wait, but from Disney's perspective, it probably makes a lot of sense. It would have premiered over a little over a week after Game of Thrones House of the Dragon starts, in 2 days before Lord of the Rings Rings of Power. The Amazon show might steal some of Andor's hype, some of their thunder. You know, people have limited time to watch things these days. You sit down on the weekend, what do I want to watch? Am I going to watch those first 3 episodes of Andor? Or am I going to watch Lord of the Rings?
Yeah, am I going to watch the show about the character I don't remember, or maybe don't ever remember even hearing of, or that side character in Rogue One? And I'm not saying, I'm not trying to diss Andor. I'm saying from the casual perspective, I'm going to watch the show about the character I don't know. Or am I going to watch Amazon's $80 billion Lord of the Rings series?
Right, all the advertising, all the hype that's gone into that. I think it definitely would have stole something from Andor. So I am glad that they're getting their own little breathing space. I mean, they're still going to be overlapping with both shows.
Yeah. And I'm not trying to praise Amazon for just spending money or throwing money at something. That doesn't make it good.
Usually
I'm just simply
Disney's
saying,
job.
I'm saying from, again, kind of. But I'm just saying from the casual perspective, I'm sure there's a lot of excitement out there for Amazon's Lord of the Rings. I mean,
I'm excited.
I want it to be good.
But we know the differences. You know the lore.
Yeah,
we've
we've talked about that before. I just want it to be good. I understand that you have to change some things, but when you change too much, it's just not the same thing anymore.
I don't know what they changed, so I'll be fine.
I know, but it's like using the bones. It's like
hilarious.
Using the carcass to, it's like Weekend at Bernie's. Like you're just going through the motions because, you're trying to entertain. I don't know. I want to wait and see it. I know there's been a lot of talk about it. People already hating on it and wanting to defend it.
We're in wait and see camp.
I always want to be in the wait and see camp, even though, yes, I obviously do have my beliefs and opinions and my hopes and fears going into anything. I'm human. I'm going to have that. But I want to put myself...
Human?
It's debatable. But I do want to put myself in the wait and see camp. And if it sucks, you're going to hear about it. And if it's good, you're going to hear about it. All right. Well, that's all we got for you this time. So take to the comments below and tell us what you think about today's news. Are you excited for Andor? Are you okay with the little delay? Whatever the case may be, you know what to do. Leave those comments below. Let's talk some Star Wars. And until next time, thanks for watching.